Hi, my name is Sarah, and you are watching BWOMS Fresh Cuts. What's it like to have a crush on everyone? How can you be friends with people you aren't fond of? Can my heart hold more than it has to? I write about everyone I've ever met and wonder if I can share these thoughts with them. Nobody wants to just be an entry. I think I stole that line from Perks of Being a Wallflower. A few weeks ago, I performed my first stand up set over Zoom in my bedroom, kind of like an emotional cam girl. The topic I covered was crushes. I adore having a crush on someone. It fills the gut I usually hate with champagne bubbles and imagination. The most accurate depiction of the glee I feel when I have a crush happened at the beginning of February. My roommates and I drove to a coffee shop with outdoor seating to write letters, practice for interviews, and gossip. After our iced coffees had roiled into restlessness, we abandoned one roommate to browse a gift shop. Taken aback by the beauty brought into the world by local artists, I only kind of noticed the cute curly brown hair spilling off the top of the cashier's head. We talked about him being a poet and wanting a typewriter. He shared other details about his couponing habits and things far too identifiable to share on even a poorly trafficked blog. Flooded with glee, I drove off into the pastel pink sunset, dreaming about future smooches and secrets shared. Since we're both writers, we could even co author a collection of poems together. It'd be sickeningly creative and inspired. I was lost in a joyride and Lady Gaga and basking in what my best friend Drake calls the best part of a crush. They explain the best part is when the crush is all joy and no information. The crash back to earth when I discovered he was melodramatic and more than comfortable sharing breakup DMs on Maine was humbling. I was reminded that he's not a concept or character arc to piece into my free written narrative, but instead a person with complexities and narrative liberties of his own. My friends make fun of me for falling in love fast. It's a little absurd because I canonically despise being in a relationship, so naturally I treat all the friendships in my life like we are in one. I crave affirmation, and after 16 years of Catholic school, drilling shame and the golden rule into me, I am a swirling mess of frustration and abundance. I operate under the belief that if I have a crush on someone and sharing this revelation can only create embarrassment for me, it's best to be honest. Let the person know how you feel and learn how to handle rejection with grace and good humor. Having a crush is a temporary state of possibility and adoration. I know so many lovely and beautiful people that I think everyone should have a crush on. Just don't be weird about it. As everyone I've ever interacted with knows, I took a stand-up comedy class. I'm currently addicted to show ponying poorly structured jokes around like I own anything other than massive amounts of student debt. To the delight of my friends and distant acquaintances, I describe myself as belonging to the industry. The industry being one Zoom performance, one open mic, and a lifetime of brain damage via social media overuse. It's a little absurd that I don't have an agent or book deal by now, right? Anyway, since we live in the world of late stage capitalism, it's kind of my whole job as a creator, aka person with internet access, to come up with a persona slash personality that people like. This is kind of the task of a lifetime since I've simultaneously spent my whole life desperate to be liked and considered cool. This is the kind of conversation I hope to explore in the stand up set I'm performing in my class show. But don't hold me to this. Last time I completely rewrote the whole set the night before because I'm gorgeously chaotic. So I've spent the past few weeks figuring out how exactly I want to come across on stage. This is kind of horrifying because that means I have to take time to reflect. I've brainstormed beautifully embarrassing concepts, such as the girl next door that your parents make you hang out with, thoughtful dumbass, sexually obsessed, and young adult novelist. All of these exaggerated aspects of who I currently am miss the mark just a little. Like, almost every person I know, I want to be considered hot, funny, smart, and friendly. Can this be communicated in a nervous smile or a sultry smize? How does the perfect person present themselves? After binging a season of America's Next Top Model, I've come to the brave conclusion that if I was skinny, this would be way easier. There's a part of me that will always feel tethered to the fat little sister label, which is an earnest, vulnerable, and beautiful person to be. Right now, I've taken on this caricature of a woman who desperately wants to be adored and loved, much to the annoyance of my close friends that DM me and beg me to stop. Like, how am I not going to post a Facebook text meme that incorporates suicidal ideation and a craving for sexual desirability? My Instagram Explore page and friends know this style of meme so well, the memes seem to find me. I also feel like a lot of who I am is made up of what I'm currently consuming. My friends let me know that they think that I'm overextending myself. I try to read 100 books a year. Don't worry, 18 of them are the Pretty Little Liars series. Subscribe to 20 weekly podcasts and read every article and newsletter that kind of interests me, which isn't even including my social media consumption. I'm also newly addicted to reading tabloids I rented from the library. I've created a curriculum of consumption for myself in postgrad. I always felt like an ABC special when I was in college because the things I was studying in school conveniently always applied to whatever was immediately happening in my life. But is that just because those materials and instructors gave me a lens to look at things through? If you can't tell, I studied English and gender studies in college. I want to expose myself to new worlds and conversations, and that self inflicted pressure kind of leaves me feeling like a simulation that only exists online and who doesn't take part in any real world relationships. Not only does who I am hinge on what I'm being introduced to, but I also feel like I constantly have to remind myself of who I was. I don't know if I just have the memory of a goldfish after years of reading tweets while high or what. I reread my diary entries, Finsta posts, tweets, and I sort through my overflowing memory box every few months. I have to remind myself of everything I've lived through and loved because so much happens in a life and I'm scared to lose any minute of it. Does that mean that I'm just the events that happen to me and I'm an archivist of a personality that I've constructed? God, as usual, I don't have any answers. I'll just go on stage and let it happen. Thanks for listening, everybody. Once again, I'm Sarah. You can catch me on Instagram at No Fake Cowboys. Keep it going.